So I just saved $600 on Adobe Creative Cloud, and I want to show you how you can do the same thing. Ready? Let's do it. Okay, so here's the story. I actually just received an email from Adobe saying that I was going to be switching plans this year as my plan was coming up for renewal, and I'm no longer eligible for the student discount which I was on because I'm no longer a student, okay? Now this is going to apply to you whether you're a student or not, so bear with me even if you don't have the student discount. So I figured to myself, it's going from $19.99 a month to $79.99 a month, Australian dollars. Don't ask why Australian, it's just because when I first signed up the account I was in Australia. Anyways, so it was going to be pretty much tripling the price, actually quadrupling the price of what I was already paying. And so that was a lot of money. I figured I'd get on the phone or at least chat with the Adobe team and see if there's anything they could do. So that's the first thing. Make sure that you're asking. People will surprise you often. If you just ask, you can almost always get a better price on things. So I go onto the chat, and the chat went something like this. Myself, I said, hey, I am actually just thinking about canceling my Adobe account because it's too expensive. It used to be $20, now it's going up to $80, and that's just too much for me. I'm thinking about canceling it. Is there anything that you guys can do for me price-wise? Simple question, simple ask. They wrote back, since you're not a student, I can't actually help you. And I said, I understand that. I'm wondering if there's anything else you can do. Just being persistent, seeing what happens, right? What's the worst that I can lose? Nothing. So they say, no, because you're not a student, I can't give you the student discount. I said, well, is there anything else you can do, right? Because they're still not answering my question. And that's something you'll find a lot of the time in customer service, is they will try and actually kind of weave you off to the side and get rid of your question by not answering it properly. And so just stick with it. So I said, no, I understand I'm not a student, but I'm going to have to cancel my account if I can't get a better price. Because I honestly was thinking about just switching to Final Cut. It's way cheaper when you just buy it once than to continue paying monthly like that. So they said, no, but I can transfer you to a specialist. Okay, so they transferred me to another person. The exact same conversation. They said, what can I do? I said, it's too expensive. Can you do anything else for me? That's essentially what I said. And they said the same thing back. You're not a student. I can't help you because you're not a student. We can't give you the student discount. And I just said, is there anything else you can do? I understand. Is there anything else you can do? They transferred me to another specialist. It's the exact same story. And it blew me away at this point. It's 3. Then I get transferred to another specialist. Exact same story, right? And they say, there's nothing I can do for you, I'm sorry. And then I said, well, I'm going to have to cancel my account if that's the case. Can you help me cancel my account? And that was like the magic button, I guess, because the persistence finally wore through, or maybe it's just the fact that they knew I was serious about maybe canceling or leaving as a customer. And then they wrote back and said, Ryan, the best we can do for you is $28.99 per month. Okay, so the original price in Australian was $78.99 a month, and they gave it to me for $28.99 a month. That is like 66% off. It's more than that. I don't know the exact numbers. But really, when you look at it, over the course of a year, that saves me $600, all because I got on the chat and said, is there anything else you can do? I might have to cancel if you can't give me a better price. And so the moral of this story is you can try the same thing. You can always contact Adobe and say, listen, my plan is too expensive, or I just feel like I'm paying too much. I'm considering moving to Final Cut. I'm considering moving to Capture One, whatever it is. And you can say, is there anything else you can do for me? Is that the best price that you can give me? And that magic question is going to get you results 90% of the time, not just in Adobe, but in anything when you're actually asking people about pricing and services. One simple sentence, and I learned this in a book and it's been so helpful to me. When someone gives you a price on something, you simply ask them, is that the best you can do? And when you do that, the wheels in their head start turning because they're thinking, well, is this person not going to buy? Maybe I should throw in a little bit of extra this. Maybe I should give them a discount. You might even have had this strategy used on you, and you know what it's like, right? So asking that question just in a nice way, not in a pressuring way, is there anything else you can do? Or is that the best you can do? 90% of the time you'll find that people throw in things they never would have if you hadn't asked that question. So I just wanted to share that story, give you a little tip. It's not necessarily exactly photography related, but it'll definitely save you some money to spend more on photography gear or just have some extra cash lying around. I don't know. You can go ahead and buy yourself a castle in the Maldives, okay? So with that in mind, I hope this was helpful for you. Please make sure to leave a comment, especially if you have a different strategy, different ideas, tips. Would this work for you? I don't know. Share your stories below. Give me a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe if you want more great content like this, and I will see you in the next one.